Brakate Hawa, Brakate Hawashai, Brakate Hawa, Brakate Hawashai. Shalom, all praises, glory, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Kakadash. Double honor and praise to the apostle elders, GMS that taught me this truth. And peace and blessings to the Akim that has a life daily, pushing this truth with sincerity. Once again, my name is Einam with GMS Detroit Barcamp. I pray this video will be edifying to the hopeful elect. And with that said, this video is about being faithful unto death. We have examples about being faithful unto death. And I'm gonna get them scriptures. Matter of fact, here go one of them right here. This is Daniel 3. And one. This is about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego being faithful unto death. When they didn't bow down to the golden image that King Nebuchadnezzar set up. And I'm not going to go all the way into this. I ain't going to read all the way into this, but I'm gonna just get straight to the point. This is an Daniel 3 and 3 and 16. This is what they answered the king when the king asked them if you bow down to when you hear all the music to this golden image. This day response to the king, King Nebuchadnezzar, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this manner. If it be so, our power whom we serve is able to deliver us out of the burning furnace, and he will deliver thee out of thy hand, O king. But if it be not known unto thee that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. And this was their response unto the king, because the king made a decree that if you don't bow down to all the images, that image, that golden image, when you hit the harps, the flutes, the psaltery, and all kind of music, you be cast into a fiery furnace. And when let me keep reading. When then was the king Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Wherefore he spake a commandment that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. So he commanded them to be put to death in that fiery furnace. And I'm gonna just go straight to the point on this, right? Well, I'm gonna just keep reading. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and cast them into the burnt fiery furnace. And these men were bound, and their coats, and their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments was cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king commanded was urgent, the furnace exceedingly hot, and the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So, the 3 men that threw them into the burning fiery furnace, the Most High slayed them for putting his hands on his men. And but what end up happening to these? And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, did we not cast the 3 men bound in the midst of the fire? And they answered and said unto the king, true, O king. And he answered and said, lo, I see a 4th man loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And from the 4th is like the son of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh. And the Most High didn't let them fall in the hands of the king. in that burning refinery furnace, the Most High saved them, preserved them, from that. So, we have more examples of the being faithful unto death. I ain't gonna go into all of them, but I have just a few pulled up. Daniel, not following the decree of King Darius, when he refused to not worship the Most High, and he refused not to worship this was the decree that the counselors and the princes and the governors made, and all the presidents of the kingdom and the governors and the princes and the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of the king, shall be cast into the den of lions. And these men rose up against Daniel because Daniel was over them. They was trying to get kill Daniel to get Daniel from up over them because he wasn't he wasn't he was a servant under King Darius, but they didn't want him to be over him, and they tried to get him killed by the hand of the king with that decree. And then now the king has established decree, a sign of writing, and be not changed according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which alter not. And this is during the Medo-Persian Empire, and King Darius signed the writing and decree. And now when Daniel knew that writing was signed, he went in his house and opened up his windows and his chamber towards heaven and towards Jerusalem, Slakia, and he knelt upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before Yahweh as he did 4 times. And these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplications before his power. And well, you understand, if you don't know the story of Daniel and the lions, the Most High didn't let the lions even maul or eat Daniel, but it's a good story on faith, on disobeying the king order, and always observing Yahweh Shem Shai, putting your faith, hope, and trust in him, even unto death. Even let's go to the next one. This is 7 Maccabees and 1, and 7 Maccabees and 1. And it came to pass also 7 brothers with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. And this was during the Roman Empire occupation. No, the Greek occupation, because this is Antiochus Epiphanes. I think Antiochus made the decree for them to eat swine flesh. I think it's Antiochus Epiphanes the second. Matter of fact, did all these things to them. And they was tormented, and scourged with whips. And it's just a sample. This chapter is a good example of faith, and more so keeping the faith unto death. They died. These young men, these 7 men, and their mother, they died to not eat fine flesh. It's a good example of being faithful unto death. And we have another one. This is a chapter before that, and this is about Eleazar. Maccabees 6 and 18. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, a man of well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth. was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine flesh, but rather to die gloriously than to live and stain with such abomination, spit it forth and came to his own accord to the torment. And it behooved them to come to resolute to stand out against such things as are not the lawful for love of life to be tasted. And kind of, the apostles and elders say the MOTB is the new swine, and he died for not wanting to die eating for swine flesh. You know, he was faithful unto death. He died for over this. But they had charge of the wicked feast of the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside and besought him, bringing flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful unto him to use, to make as he did eat the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king, and that so doing so he might be delivered from death. For the old friendship that he did find, old friendship with them find favor, and they try to persuade him, hey, this is chicken, man. It won't even be pork. Just act like it is that, Eleazar. And but I'm gonna go. I ain't gonna go a whole lot into this, but being and being, but he began to consider discreetly as he became to his age, became his age, and excellency in years, and honor of his great head, whereon he came, whereon was come, and the most honest education from a child, rather to the holy laws made and given by Yahweh, and therefore he answered them accordingly and willed them to straightly send them to the grave. Hey, that's being faithful unto death. Hey, man, I ain't gonna eat that shit. Hey, just gonna kill me because I ain't gonna taste it. You know, for it becometh not our old age, and said in any wise to disassemble, by many young persons might think that Eleazar, being fourscore and ten, 90 years old, were now gone to a strange religion. And so, through my hypocrisy and desire to live a little time, a moment longer, should be deceived by me, and I get a stain to my old age and make it abominable. And it would have been abominable for him to eat swine flesh, because we can't even touch swine flesh. And if a lawful animal touches swine, or touch a swine, hey, we can't even eat that lawful animal. So it was, a filthy, abominable thing for us to eat swine's flesh during that time. And Eleazar compelled them to put him to death. And he ended up falling to being tormented and tortured and died because he did not want to eat swine's flesh. And this is an account of talking about how he did not want to do it, you know. And don't worry about, if you do have to give up the ghost for this thing, man, because we have scriptures in here to say that matter of fact, about being faithful to death. Fear them not. These are red letters. These Yahweh Shai words. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. But be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And break down to this, Esau will put some of the men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai into concentration camps, and where they will be tortured and some beheaded. And we'll know that if you don't receive the MOTB, you're gonna be beheaded for that. Be in Revelations 20 and 4. The new swine. If you don't take the new swine, they're gonna chop you. You're gonna go through draconian measures because they're gonna bring that back, and they got guillotines. Matter of fact, United States got I think it's 30,000 guillotines. So, hey, 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 don't worry about losing your life over this. Still hold fast, be faithful unto death, even if you have to give up your life. Just willingly do it because Yahweh Shai will bring you back into the flesh. Matter of fact, this is uh, 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 um, First Thessalonians 4:6, for the Lord, for Yahweh Shai himself shall descend from heaven with a shout and the voice of an archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh. The dead of Yahweh Shai shall rise first, and the dead in Yahweh Shai shall rise first. That's the point. The dead in Yahweh Shai is going to be the first risen. When Yahweh Shai return. It's a small thing for Yahweh Shai to bring you back into the flesh. It's nothing. He put, when he was living, walking on this earth, he put bodies, flesh back into their bodies, saying they were sleeping. This is Daniel 12:2. Many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall wake, some to everlasting life, and those elect, and the 1/3 that die, that was faithful unto death, they gonna be brought back into life. Some to shame to everlasting contempt, and the shame and everlasting contempt is gonna be the 2/3. In the kingdom, they're gonna be ashamed of themselves when they first come in the kingdom. But that's gonna go, fade off of them. But when they gonna have shame and everlasting contempt when they first come in there, and knowing that that was me, I did that. They're gonna be ashamed. But but it is what it is. Like I said, the scriptures say, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer." Fear them not. Do not have fear it. Put your faith, hope, and trust and fear in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That hopefully you are the hopeful elect or the 1/3. Fear none of it. This is Revelations. Come on now. This is Revelations 6:9. And when he had opened up the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh and the testimony which they held. And like I said, some of us is going to have to die for this truth. It's just that we're going to have to be a living sacrifice where we sacrifice the ultimate price, dying for these sins. It's dying for not only the sins that we did in this life, proving the ultimate sacrifice of not receiving the MOTB and dying for our beliefs. Not taking on a new swine, giving up the ghost. It's it's a nothing, man. If Yahweh Shai, if the MOTB when the MOTB prophecy come to pass, hey, you know that salvation is just around the corner. It's just a second. Matter of fact, seconds away. We know our salvation cometh quick. You know, and if you are the hopeful elect in the 1/3, just Revelation 14:13, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, right, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth, yea, said the Spirit, and that they may rest from their labors, and they works do follow them. So, if you die in this truth, man, your works do follow you. If you uphold it to the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, you fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai with your heart, mind, body, and soul, and you have faith in Him, and your belief is in Him. Or if you don't take the MOTB, and you want to die for it, you know, or you could die before all this. But the MOTB is in play right now. But it ain't come to draconian measures yet where they start putting us to death over it. But it's coming, you know. And this is my last scripture. Come on now. This is Revelation 20:4. And like I said, you have to know what you got yourself into, because this is going to happen, man. And I saw the thrones and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and they reigned with the Messiah 1,000 years. And this is going to be the ultimate prize to you. This what can happen to you. I saw the thrones and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And this is twofold. And some of the elect men will have to die for this truth, but they'll be raised up. First, 1 Thessalonians 4:16. The souls of them that were beheaded for the apostles were put to death 2,000 years ago. And if the apostles are living right now, they will rather die than to receive the MOTB. And you can bet that. Had not worshipped the beast, had not worshipped the beast, and which had not worshipped the beast, the apostles will not be taking the chip in this life, you know. And I believe the apostles are on the scene right now. You know, the apostles, starting with the apostles, elders of GMS. You know, and not worship the beast, neither his image. And this right here is to represent the image of Rome Empire, i.e., for its laws and the laws and legislation and the architecture, and the MOTB is going to be set up through them, through these rulers that's ruling the world right now. But the second leg of Rome is America and these NATO, the NWO, the New World Order, you know, and how it speaks through the through its laws and legislation, through the Senate and the Congress, and other government institutions, you know, that they have around the world. This is how the beast system speaks. Uh, 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 you know, and with that said, a be patient, is coming. Have faith. Yahweh Shem Shai is soon as this MOTB be established, where the men of the Lord are dying, losing their necks for it, losing their heads for it, being beheaded for it. A WW3, World War III is going to happen, and then Yahweh Shai going to return, and those that died, being faithful to death. Hey, Yahweh Shai gonna be, especially if you're the elect in the 1/3 of Israel, house of Israel. Hey, you're gonna be the first risen up, you know, and 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 that's gonna be the beginning of the new kingdom of the Most High. I pray this video was edifying to the hopeful elect. And with that said, a shalom.